Go. I got the nod. Jesse gave me the nod that we are live. Here we go. We are live. I see this this camera is glowing at me, so welcome everybody. I am so excited to go live here today. It is going to be an absolute incredible time. This show is all about you and your questions when it comes to wholesaling, when it comes to mindset, when it comes to real estate investing. But I want to start out with this because I think that this is really critical. I had a conversation this morning with a brand new TTP family member, a brand new student of mine, and I do a welcome call with anybody that signs up into the mentorship just to find out about them and about where they're at in their real estate journey and give some homework and some goals and things like that. But at the end of it, he asked a really great question. His name's Jose, and Jose asked a question about, you know, what is the right mindset that I need to be in to start this business and succeed? And I think that that is so absolutely critical, because without the right mindset, all of the tactics, all of the strategies, all of it don't matter because you don't take the action that you need to and be consistent. And what I mean by that is this. I remember being totally broke, owing over $740,000 in a judgment, in debt, like real debt. I remember my firstborn, my eldest son, Seamus, was, we were pregnant with Seamus, and we were on government health insurance, all right? Like, there was nothing, and everybody kept coming. My parents kept coming, friends kept coming. They kept saying, why are you still holding on to this real estate dream? Why do you still want to be in real estate? Why don't you just get a job? Why don't you do this and that? And the real answer is, I had made the decision at 22 years old that I wanted to absolutely change my life through real estate. Like, through real estate, that was going to be the engine that really helped me be successful financially. And it absolutely can and absolutely did. And I kept that. That was inside me. I had to have that. And I fueled on that. And the analogy I want to make is this, okay? Because I think that this is really critical. This is what I want you to picture in your mind. And I'm not a gamer. I know a lot of people are gamers, but imagine this, right? Every game has certain levels, right? There's certain levels to every game, every video game, right? And imagine that real estate is a video game, and you have unlimited lives. All right? You have unlimited lives. Whenever you run into something and your little guy dies, you respawn, you get going right away. You start right where you stopped, right where that failure hit you, right? You get to learn from that, right? You get to learn what happened there and how to get around that. And that is the most important thing. We have to fail so that we learn. We have to learn so that we can grow, and we need to grow so that we can win, all right? And what I want to do with this show right here, and I want to do a whole lot more of this, with this right here, answering the questions, getting in there, putting certain mindset things into your brain, is I want to give you the cheat codes, right? I want to give you the little cheat codes, and I want to give you the guides, and I want to be the guy that already went through these levels so that you can avoid and understand how to deal with each level. And that's the point of this show. Okay, so but I need your help. I need your participation. Okay, so the first thing that I want you to do is, if you have made the decision to make real estate like your obsession, make real estate what you want to use to change your family's life, your future, whatever it is, to just build up like your financial base and your net worth, then hit that like button right now. Hit it. I want to see a little bit of participation, just so that I know that that you've made the decision. I think it's huge to put that out there into the world and let everybody know, you know what? I don't care what happens. I don't care what failures I go through. I don't care how many people are mean to me. I don't care about the rejection. I'm going to have thick skin, and I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep leveling up in this real estate game. And I'm telling you, the game doesn't stop until you unplug the game, until you absolutely quit. So you respawn and you respawn and respawn, and that is real estate. That's what we're talking about here. So that is wholesaling. That is starting this business. And remember, wholesaling is all about finding real estate opportunities. That's all it is. We find deals. Once you get good at this level of finding deals, then you get to do whatever you want. Whether you want to wholesale, whether you want to wholetail, whether you want to fix and flip, develop, hold a big portfolio of rental properties, you are in the driver's seat. But it all starts with level one, which is learning how to source real estate opportunities and find deals. So that's where we're at. I'm excited. Any questions that you guys have, I want you to just start firing them away. This is your show. This is about answering your questions, and we're just going to go on, and I'm going to go in depth, and I'm going to try to give you as much and break it down as much as possible so that you truly understand it, because I don't want any excuses. I don't want you to have any excuses to not be able to go and take action. So I want you out there feeling confident. I want you out there feeling like you're bulletproof out there, like you're ready to take on the world. You know that there are distressed property owners in your area, and you know that if you just get in front of them, you're going to get the opportunity to be able to help them out of their situation. And that's what this is all about. That's what finding these deals is all about. Remember, 6 to 10%, and it could be creeping up in some areas because of this pandemic. 6 to 10% of the real estate market is in distress at all times. There are more properties than there are people going after those properties, like you and like me. So there's always going to be, it's a conveyor belt, all right? We can't have a scarcity mindset. It's an abundance mindset. We have to understand that if we talk to enough people, if we have enough quality conversations with enough distressed property owners, you're going to find a deal of the week. That's Robert Kiyosaki's famous quote was, the deal of a lifetime comes around about once a week. And it's absolutely the truth. That is absolutely true. So, yeah, anyway, I'm excited to get this going. I got my whole team here. They're rocking and rolling here. So let's get to some questions. Let's get to some questions and answers. So, Jesse, do you have any questions that are popping up that we can start with here? He's sorting through some here. So let me tell you this, while Jesse's doing his thing, I'm going to do this. Listen to me, there are 3 core elements of every wholesale deal, okay? 3 core elements of every distressed seller, I should say, okay? And that's this. Number 1, and this is the controversial one, I don't know why it is, but number 1 is they want to sell. They want to sell their property, all right? They want to sell their property. I'm telling you, they want to sell it. Now listen, there's plenty of people that need to sell a property. There's plenty of people that need to sell a property, but you want to find the people that want to sign an agreement. Foreclose. There's plenty of people that the state takes back their property because they didn't pay their property taxes. There's plenty of people that just walk away from properties. You know, they don't want to sell, right? They need to sell or they're going to lose the property, but they still lose them anyway. You got to find the people that want to sell. So that's number 1. I'm going to get to number 2 and number 3, and I'm going to sprinkle it in, but we've got some questions. And my team loves when you send questions, so there you go. Okay, what's the question? What KPI should I be aiming for? That is, well, what KPI should I be aiming for? Oh, all right, so there's a couple different ones. If you are cold calling, right, or if you're going out and you get a list, you skip trace that list, you're making the calls, and you're looking at what should I be tracking to see if I'm on the right path. So the first thing is, number 1 is you want to make sure that you are checking your contact rate, okay? Now, right now, it used to be a good contact rate was about 10%. So what contact rate is, how many calls do you make divided by how many people you actually talk to. So if you make 10 calls, are you talking to one of them, right? A contact rate is really important because it's going to tell you the quality of the data that you're getting. What I mean is when you send in an address to get skip traced, are the numbers coming back from the skip tracer accurate phone numbers of the people that you're trying to get a hold of? So number one is make sure you're checking your contact rate. That's going to make sure that your data is good. And listen to me, the data has to be good. If you have bad data, you are going to have so much brain damage because you're going to be talking to no one. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to say this doesn't work. You're going to be like, what is going on? Nobody's answering their phone. It must be too much competition. All these crazy things are going to go through your head. Get good quality data. Batchskiptracing.com. They're by far the best. I mean, you could look at all the reviews, and you don't have to believe me, but they're the best. I've tried everybody. So number one is contact rate. Number two is I want you to track how long you're staying on the phone. How long are you calling? All right. Now, this is if you're using a dialer. All right. So a dialer is going to make those calls for you. I use mojosells.com. I upload all my lists. I call, and I want to make sure that my phone prospectors are calling what I'm paying. You know, I pay them hourly, so I want to make sure that I'm getting at least 100 hours out of 3 of them. I have 2 full-time and 1 part-time, and so I try to get 100 hours, and that's how I'm tracking them. But when you're doing it, I don't want you to track how many calls you make unless you're hand dialing. But when you have a dialer dialing for you, I want you to track how long you're staying on. And I want you to challenge yourself. Start with 10 minutes. Stop. Go 15 minutes. Stop. Go 20 minutes. Stop. Go for an hour. You go to an hour, bro, you are just on fire. You get on that dialer and you go for an hour, you are next level. You're going to take it to I'm telling you, you're going to be unstoppable. It's going to be incredible. All right? Hi, Brent. Hi, Brent. Do you use a single or triple line when cold calling? Perfect. So I would start out with a single line and then graduate to a triple line. So I use a single line to kind of get used to a dialer and used to how quickly the calls get picked up and how quickly I have to transition from one call to the next. But here's my advice. If you feel like the most important thing is this. Most important thing is you need to take it one conversation at a time, right? Bill Belichick, famous coach for the Patriots, has this philosophy for winning championships. And his philosophy is, listen, just do your job this one play. Just do your job this single play. Don't worry about anything else. Just do your job this one play. That's the same mentality you have to have when you're making calls so that you are focused. I don't want you like on your back foot and trying to catch up. All right, so it's really important. So make sure that that's going to be the indicator if you're ready to go to the third line, triple line dialer from a single line, is if you are focused every single time somebody answers the phone. If so, rock and roll, brother. Yep. All right. How often do you work a list before moving on to another one? Santiago, great question. I go through a list twice. Well, let me caveat this, okay? Now, let me give you a little, most people don't do this. I have said it a little bit. I haven't been loud enough about this, but listen to me. Number one is you need 1,000 of the ugliest houses in your market, okay? Driving for dollars, literally getting in, finding the 1,000 worst of the worst. I'm not talking, they're a little dated, the roof looks a little bit beat up. I'm talking the worst, all right? The worst 1,000 properties, and I want you, that's your stalker list. Those, you want to try to hit them with whatever you got. Calls, texts, door knock, send them handwritten notes, put something on the door, whatever it is. Go after those 1,000, go after them hard. That's the only list that I want like a lot of attention on. The rest of the list, I only go through twice. Because what happens is, first time you go through a list, you get the most contacts. Second time, ooh, there's a drop-off. So the first time you get like 15 to 13 contacts per hour. The second time, it's like 8 to 10. The third time, it's like 4 to 6. And then if you keep hammering that, or if you keep having your VAs hammer that list, there's a lot of no talking, no action. When there's no action, people start going into dreamland. When they start going into dreamland, they're not ready to fire on that call. When they're not ready to fire, people realize that, click. Remember, you have 5 seconds to get the next 30 seconds on any conversation that you're cold calling. Get 5 seconds. So you got to be on point. So that is, yeah, go through the list twice, keep it fresh, keep refreshing those, and you got it, okay? C to Mars, all right. How can I convince an investor to do one package deal on all 4 properties he wants to liquidate after the first of the year? I love this question. This comes up so much. Thank you for asking this question. This is unbelievable, all right? Because for real, here's the truth. People that own multiple properties, 99.999% aren't going to take a huge discount on it. Now, if they have really bad tenant issues, if they're having really bad health issues, if they're, you know, just totally done with it, if they've just let the properties go completely terrible, then you have a shot, right? We did one of those. Alejandro did one of those the last year. We made like, what, 70 grand on it or something? Yeah, we made a ton. But most of the time, what happens is they want you to pay retail minus realtor fees. So what I would suggest, C2 Mars, is, I love your hat, looking good. The whole outfit, look at you. You're like an all-American woman. Look at that. That's great. What I want you to do is, I want you to pick out and ask them, what is your what's your worst problem child? What's your worst property? I want to give you an offer on that, Mr. Seller. And if we can come to an agreement, then we'll work on the other ones. And what I want you to do, and for everybody listening, this isn't just for C to Mars, but for everybody out there, the issue is you spend a lot of time comping properties. You spend a lot of time going through and following up and driving and getting pictures of all these properties, and they aren't actually deals. I know one wholesaler here that literally bankrupted his business because he committed to a 40 property pack. He was able to sell 30 of them, but the 12 he had to buy himself, couldn't get rid of them, and all 12 of those he had to give back to the hard money lender. It was an ugly situation. It was not good. Happens all the time. So find the one that's the ugliest, work it, try to see if they're realistic, see if you're building the relationship, and then get the rest of them. I know that you want to get all 4, and listen, if he's willing to take a big discount, but don't do it where you go, okay, well, I got a real big discount on this house, so I'm pretty much retail. I'm not really making anything on these other 3 or these other 2. You will lose money. You will lose out on that deal. You're not going to be able to move them, and it's going to be a mess. So find the one, or if he's willing to take a discount, 60%, whatever, 50%, depends on the price. You know, do the calculations and make sure that it's good price for each and every 4 properties, and give them a bulk price for all of them, and see if you would consider that. If not, then see if you can peel off one of those. Great question, because this happens a lot. A lot of tired landlords, they love talking real estate, and they love it. They love seeing what the properties are worth. They love people, you know, being interested in their properties, but they don't really want to sell. These are savvy people that have multiple properties, right? They're not, you know, unless they're in a real desperate situation, or unless they have a real stress there, or unless the property's just totally beat up, then just take that strategy. Okay. What's your opening conversation when door knocking pre-foreclosures? Joseph, great question. All right, here's the thing. In your mind, and I know that you can't really respond and we're not really having a conversation here, but in your mind, when you go up to the door, do you think that they know why you are there once you ask them if they're the owner of the property? Yes, they know why you're there. They know why you're there. They have been getting hundreds of calls. They've got stacks of mail this big, all right? Go there and be you. Be conversational. Now, when you knock on a door, make sure that you stand away from the door. Make sure you're kind of looking into the yard or the street. Listen, I knocked, like, with a team, I probably personally knocked about 2,000 doors, but the whole team did like 15,000. You stand there and you look out on the street, you look on here, and you just, hey, yeah, oh, yeah, I know that this is out of the blue, but I was stopping by. I'm looking to buy a home in the neighborhood, and I just wanted to see if you would consider an offer on this property. Right? Just go that way. They're going to be like, oh, no, slam. Or they're going to be like, oh, it's because I'm in pre-foreclosure. You can be like, you know what, that did come up on the app that I have or whatever. And I just, you know, I work with a lot of people that are in this situation, and I help them get out of it. So I wanted to stop by and see if we could have a conversation and just see if there was a way that we could work together so that you could avoid, you know, having a foreclosure on your record for the next 7 years. Right? Like, It's just have that conversation, but open it up the same way we open everything up. If you go, hey, listen, are you John? Right? Are you John? Yeah, well, who's asked? Oh, John, on this app here, it says that you're in foreclosure. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know what? You're going to start off on the wrong foot. They're going to have to defend themselves. They're going to be like, oh, you know what I mean? Go there, just have a conversation with them and see if they would consider an offer. See what they're doing. You know, there's some other, services. There's some other ways that we can help you out if you need to. Have you tried to negotiate a loan modification? Do you have any friends or family that maybe could give you a loan to help get you caught up, get you back on their feet, whatever. So just have the conversation. Listen, if they're going to slam the door in your face, they're going to slam the door in your face. I'd rather it happen quicker, but I don't want you to go out there and offend people and feel bad about it. It just doesn't feel good. I mean, it just doesn't feel good. Okay? Matt, is it better to do local deals or virtually wholesale? Do any viewers have any suggestions? That's great, Matt. I mean, it just depends. It depends on where you live. You know, I have a lot of TTP family members and people in the program that live in places like San Diego. They live in Laguna Beach. They live in New York. They live in Seattle. They live in Chicago, downtown Chicago, and they decide to go virtual because it's just an easier conversation. There's really big companies, really big real estate developing, rehabbing, whatever companies that spend millions of dollars in some major markets and just completely kind of just make it real competitive in there. And I'm not saying, remember, there's a conveyor belt. There's always going to be deals in your backyard. But one, if you're going against people that can outspend you, then you're not going to do as many deals, but the deals will be bigger. So yes, you can do it in your backyard 100%. If you're in any of those major markets, I highly suggest you build your driving for dollars and go after that. But I would have a second market as well that you're going after. You know, because everybody in those markets knows what their property's worth. They're just, it's the conversation everywhere, at the grocery stores, at Walgreens, at the nail salon, at, wherever, at the gym. Everybody's talking about how bananas the prices are going and stuff like that. So yeah, stuff like that. I hate saying that and stuff like that. Whatever. Anyway, hey, Brent, is Black Friday discount still on? TTPBlackFriday.com, TTPBlackFriday.com. This is the last day, guys. This is the absolute last day. I'm so thrilled at how many people have taken advantage of the discounts. It's incredible. I mean, going through the mastering the script, it's an unbelievable training where I literally break down exactly what to say to the homeowners, to the property owners. That's $7. I mean, it's crazy. Do your first wholesale deal, guys. I am so proud of that. I'm so happy of that. I am telling you, the feedback has been bananas, absolutely bananas. The people that have got in there and started taking action, it literally shows you the blueprint, the roadmap. It's like taking you to the next level, taking you to the next level, taking you to the next level. So make sure that you take advantage of that. And if you're ready, if the timing hasn't always been right, or you've been sitting on the sidelines waiting for the right time to get into the mentorship, $1,000 off. $1,000 off. It ends. The mentorship ends tomorrow, but the signing up ends today. Yep. Got it right here. So yeah, you got it. Yeah, it's still going. TTPBlackFriday.com. Please take advantage of it. Love to get in your world and help take you to the next level. So, ooh, Seth Taylor. Is this my Seth Taylor? Anyway, Seth is a TTP guy. I don't know if this one is. When trading buyers lists, do you reach out to buyers on the new list, or do you just shoot the new property to the list and see who responds? Typically, in practice, you typically just send it out and see who responds. The best thing is, if the list is manageable, I would love for you to reach out to them. Hey, listen, I got your information from Bob, whoever you traded with. He says that you love getting discounted properties. I'd love to send you some. I just want to make sure that your email's right and just see what you're looking for. You know what I mean? Having that good conversation so that it's not a weird, they don't know who it's coming from. They don't know if you're sourcing your own deals or if you're daisy chaining or whatever else it is. So if it's a smaller list, go for it. If you're getting thousands, then obviously it's not practical, and just reach out to them and see who responds. Yep. What lists do you recommend right now, and what sources do you use to pull those lists? Great question, James. So obviously, build up your driving for dollars, dealmachine.com. Deal Machine, best app out there, very affordable. If you use the coupon code TTP, you get it at $40 instead of $50. It's not a huge savings, but hey, it's 20% off. So definitely start building your driving for dollars. You can also virtually drive for dollars with that app. They've got a really cool attachment for Google Chrome when you're driving around with Google Maps, which makes it really easy to be able to do it virtually. Or if you just don't feel like driving around, then you just do it from your house or get your kid to do it. That's, you know, look for ugly houses. This is what you want to do. There's a ton of videos on it, and or a VA that you pay a couple bucks an hour, or $4 an hour or something. So driving for dollars, driving for dollars, driving for dollars, driving for dollars. Listen, people are like, well, everybody just driving for dollars. No, they don't. They really don't. People stop after like 100 properties or 200 properties. It's ridiculous. Get them all. Go out there, keep building it, because at some point they're going to have to either put a bunch of money into the property, which 90% of the time they don't have, or they're going to have to sell it to a cash buyer like you, James. So driving for dollars, number one. Number two is I love tired multifamily deals. Tired multifamily, these are duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes. The best of those are owned by individuals, all right? These are, you know, you look it up. And by the way, I pulled this from PropStream, ttpdata.com, ttpdata.com. For I think it's $97 a month. You can export 10,000. Listen, if you're serious about this business, if there's one tool for real, it's PropStream, ttpdata.com, for real. It helps you comp. It lets you know how much equity are in deals. It lets you know who the actual owners are, what they owe on things, what liens are on there, and they have all the different lists in there. So multifamily, tired multifamily. So what I mean by tired multifamily is make sure that the property is built before 1990. So we want older buildings. Let's make sure that they've owned it for at least 10 years, right? They've already kind of depreciated it on their taxes. That was the reason they bought it. They haven't really upgraded it within that 10 years. It's kind of run down a little bit. They don't really want to fix it up. Who knows what's going on with everything in the world, and they're ready to sell it, right? So tired multifamily deals, duplex, triplex, fourplex. The best thing is, yes, individuals are the best for that, but James, batch skip tracing 2.0 came out with being able, you can now skip trace properties in LLCs and trusts. And brother, I am telling you, that is a huge, huge, huge deal. That is a huge deal. And that it's going to be a game changer. So I think that there's still about 40% that actually come back, but they're working on that. But that 40%, jump on it now, guys. Jump on it now, because soon everybody's going to be going after those. So make sure that you don't just pull out the ones that are owned by LLCs and trusts. All right. The next one is the vacant foreclosures, pre-foreclosures, and people are calling these the zombie properties. I didn't even know what it was. I thought that was funny. Zombie properties. I asked the guys at PropStream. I said, "What is a zombie property?" I don't know. He's like, "I don't know." I was like, "Well, what is it? Find the technical terms." It's basically vacant pre-foreclosures, right? And this is great because listen, you can't door knock them. They're vacant. What are you going to do? Mail them? They're vacant. You could call them though. You could TTP them. You could pick up that phone and see what's going on with that. So I really like that. That's a huge advantage. We're starting that in our rotation of the calls that we're doing. We're getting a ton of leads. Nothing closing yet, nothing locked up yet, but we just started a couple weeks ago. Usually takes a little bit to start getting these under contract. So check that out. Yeah. Matt, so those are your three, James. Hope that answered your question. Matt, is it better to use closing attorneys or a title company? Matt, it depends on what state you're in. Some states are an attorney state, some are title and escrow. So if you're in a title and escrow, if you can just keep an eye on Matt here and just, Matt, if you'll tell me what state you're in, that'll help me to better figure that out. But basically, if you want to find out, just type it into like a fix and flip group or just Google it. Just Google, is my state a title and escrow state or an attorney state? And it pulls up a list. There you go. So good question, but they work hand in hand. Even closing attorneys still work with the title company to make sure that they pull all the liens on a property. Got it? Yep. Good. Good? Got any questions?
New Mexico.
New Mexico? What? Oh, he's in New Mexico? Yeah, it's a title. Title and escrow, I believe. Yep. Eddie, all right. When you get a list skip traced and the contacts come back with multiple numbers, how should you go about calling them? Beautiful, Eddie. If you're hand dialing, for sure, listen, here's the stats. 83 or 85 and up to 88% of the time, the first number that comes back in that Excel or whatever format it comes back in is the right number, all right? The next is the second number is like 10%. So after that, you're at like, you know, you're squabbling over 7% to like 2%, maybe it's going to hit them. So if you're hand dialing, only dial the first two numbers, okay? If you're putting it into your dialer, I would only put in the first three numbers. Get rid of the rest. The rest are garbage, okay? You're just going to spin your wheels, you're going to waste your time, and then you're going to get frustrated, and then you're going to say, I've been calling for hours. All I do is call and I haven't got a deal. It's not true. Be efficient. You got this. Anthony. When are subject twos necessary, and how do we do them contractually, pitching, etc.? Anthony, I don't do subject twos. I don't. But what I will tell you is this. Subject twos are beautiful when the deal doesn't have a ton of equity. Remember, when we're wholesaling, all right, you need two things. You need equity and you need motivation. All right. Now with subject twos, and I'll go into why I don't do subject twos in just a second. But with subject twos, typically there's not a lot of equity, so you have to take over the loan on that property and then also catch up what is owed so that the bank doesn't foreclose. So it's a great strategy for people building up their rental portfolio, because you don't have to use your own credit to get a loan. You're essentially adopting the credit of that seller, right? And there's great ways to do that. Pace Morby teaches it all. He's phenomenal at it. I just don't like being married to a distressed property owner for the next 10 or 20 years. I just don't. That's my life. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want my staff to deal with it. I don't want to hire somebody, customer service people, that might forget about it. I don't know, or just might have other problems or situations or whatever else. That's why I don't do subject twos. But you know, there's smart ways to do it, and it's a great way to build up your portfolio, especially if you don't want to use your credit, and if you want to raise some money to be able to buy, to be able to pay off what is owed, catch them back up, get the loan status back in the green, and then and do that. So pitching it is, you know, listen. There's not a lot of room here for me to just buy this and flip it or buy it and whatever. So I could take over your loan. Watch anything Pace Morby does. He's got a lot more on it than I do. There you go. Dylan. Used to be super hungry, but kind of lost it. Any advice on getting it back? Oh, Dylan, I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, first of all, usually what happens there is you're not you haven't squatted up enough with people that are killing it. People that are in the game, people that are just flowing with it, people that are enthusiastic, people that are moving and shaking and doing deals and talking about deals and everything. You know, so the first thing is you need to surround yourself. You need to get your personal board of directors. You hear that? Remember, you're a company. I think legally in this country, we're all companies. Did you guys know that? Yeah. I think we're all, you are a company. Well, I'm kind of offshooting that, but listen, you got to consider you are a company. You are the head, you are the chairman of your company. You need your board of directors. You need those other 5 people there to surround you and support you and call you out and keep you accountable and inspire you and just see what they're doing. And oh my gosh, now you're on fire. So the first thing is you got to squat up. Second thing is no more music in your car. For real. No more music and no news before 5 p.m. You hear me? This is going to be tough. Because we all have these things that keep kicking news at us, keep kicking news at us, keep kicking news at us. If it's that important, somebody will call you. Somebody will call you, for real. So no news before 5 p.m., all right? And no music in your car. I want you to be listening to great podcasts, Wholesaling Inc., Wholesale Hotline, right? I want you to be having really good audibles. I want you reading 10 pages of a good book a day. I want you to be doing that. And most importantly, this is what I want you to do, Dylan. This is the fire. Because having the personal board of directors is fine. Having good thoughts coming into your head and keeping the negative ones are great. But if you are not in action, anxiety is always going to creep in. I'm telling you. Anxiety is always going to creep in if you are not in action. When you are in action, you can't think about it because you're going. You're going, you're going, you're going. That's why I say be proactive. That's why I say go after it. That's why I say it's talk to people. It's like a command. It's like, come on, talk to people. Literally, go out and be proactive. Don't wait for this stuff to come to you. There is something in your brain that makes you special. You wouldn't even be on here. You wouldn't even be considering real estate, let alone wholesaling, let alone being proactive for wholesaling real estate, building all this. We're different, we're weird, we're crazy, right? But you have that. So you already have that. If you've made the decision that you're going to make this your life, then go with it, man. Be in action. To get the right people on your board of directors, I'm telling you, they got to see you with that fire. They can't see you just hoping that you're going to get some of their gasoline, some of their energy. You got to bring that energy. You got to be loud. You got to go after it. You got to get a list of ugly houses and their phone numbers, and you call them every single day, whenever you can. Be in action. You will win. It's inevitable. If you talk and have enough quality conversations with distressed property owners, you win. You win. And that's where it's at. There you go. Devil dog knife. How long should I wait for a buyer to sign an assignment agreement? Oh, man, I love this one. This one's good because this one is like, oh, you like white knuckle it until they sign it, right? You're like so worried. You're so, oh, gosh. So here's the thing. First thing is send it to them, DocuSign, right? So that you can check it, and set up an upfront expectation. Hey, Bob, Bill, Susan, whatever. You want this deal? I'm gonna send you this DocuSign, but are you able to sign it right now on your phone? Right? You're on the phone. Are you able to sign it right now on your phone? Do you want this deal? I've got a couple other people looking at it. I like you. I want to lock it up with you. But right, we're creating what's called healthy tension. Healthy tension. That's what you need from your cash buyers. Because if you're just too, docile and laid back and whatever else, they're going to run you over. They're going to run you over. Okay? So you need to create that healthy tension that says, hey, listen, I've got other people. And by the way, if you have deals, real good deals, you should have a ton of people. They should be fighting over. They should be trying to sign it immediately. All right? So number one is get good deals, first of all. Second of all, get a good buyer base so that you have multiple buyers that are going after your properties. And third, create that healthy tension with them. Say, hey, listen, I'm going to send it over, but I need it signed in the next hour, or I got to take somebody else. So you good with that? I'm going to send it to your phone. You're on your phone right now. Can you sign it right now? Are you going to sign it right now? And then just get that. And if not, if they're like, well, I'm on a boat, or I'm at the gym, or I'm driving, I don't like doing stuff when I'm driving, pull over, Bob. Whatever it is, whatever excuse they throw at you. I mean, that'll give you a good indication that they're not really serious. The second thing is make sure that they are putting in their earnest money deposit. This is so critical, especially when you're starting out. If people aren't putting in their earnest deposit the next morning, and by the way, you can control this a little bit if you want. You want me to tell you how? You can control this a little bit. You can talk to the title company or closing attorney and order up a mobile, a guy that picks out a courier. There you go. A courier to go pick up the check from them. You can order a mobile courier, I guess they're all mobile, to go pick up that check from them. Hey, listen, great. I'm going to make sure that the courier is picking up your check at 9 a.m., or do you just want to drop it off by then? Right? Little, that's how you get deals done. Yeah. Have that guy pick it up. I'll be here. Here's my address. Boom. Yeah, great. As a professional courtesy here, George, I'm going to send the courier to come pick up that earnest money. Sound good? Right? There you go. So we're rolling. We are rolling, man. Anyway, great question. But make sure it's fast and make sure that they're not sitting on it too long. And because what usually happens is they will try to leverage that time between you committing to them and them signing it to try to sell it to somebody else. And sometimes they're doing stuff. They're on the golf course. They're at a happy hour. They're doing something else, so they don't get around to it. And then they do get around to it, and then it's just kind of putting you on pins and needles, so don't let them do that. All right? Nice. What does the second phone call sound like with a seller when ready to present your offer? Liam, well, first of all, couple different things. If possible, I'd like you to meet them. I'd like you to meet them face-to-face, knee-to-knee, belly-to-belly. If you have to wear a mask, wear a mask. You know what I mean? If they feel comfortable with that, if you need to meet them out and socially distance and meet them and walk around the property and all that. If it is a virtual contract, remember, Liam, it is absolutely critical that you are pre-qualifying these leads. Remember, signing a contract is the natural progression of you pre-qualifying them. Right? If you know the condition of the property, their timeline to sell, their motivation to sell, and their price, then if you're in agreement with all that, then you say, hey, listen, I'm going to send over the contract as a professional courtesy. I would like to be on the phone with you when you review it so that we could go through and answer any questions and just get it done. Does that make sense? And so what you want to do is what's called advanced agreements. Is there anything stopping you from moving forward with me and doing business with me when I send you over the agreement? Great question. Open-ended. No, everything sounds good. We'll get it going. I need to get this done. Or, well, I need to run this by my attorney. I need to run this by my mom. I need to run this by my wife or husband. I need to do these things. And then all of a sudden, now you know. Now you can set. The worst part in sending out an offer or getting into that, is the unknown. When it's unknown, it's really, really weird. Right? You start having weird thoughts. It really stops you from being productive. You're not able to go out there with that. You're not in the zone. You know what I mean? You're not getting on the phone and prospecting and being like, wah! You know what I mean? You're just like, oh man, I hope they sign it. I hope they sign it. I hope they're doing it. I hope they're doing these things. You know what I mean? And so set up those upfront agreements. And if you want to learn more about that, go to ttpblackfriday.com. TTP Black Friday. Guys, this is the last day. It's got a clock on it. You see it. You see the 9 hours and 16 minutes, whatever. So anyway, in 9 hours, 16 minutes, it's over. Black Friday. To say thank you guys for being so supportive and wonderful and being in this world. And not in the world, but in the wholesaling world. Well, in this world too. In the wholesaling world, and really wanting to be a superstar in this. Be really good. Be consistent. Like, get through it. Like, not just have to, YouTube and podcast your way through this. I've got it all set up. It's all set up. It's all there for you. It's absolutely there for you. So I'd love for you to take advantage of it. Some incredible people have already. If they're on here, I want to say thank you. I hope you are going through it all and you are taking action. But literally, $97 for the do your first wholesale deal is the most ridiculous thing of all time. It is the most ridiculous price. It is so much. It's 5 hours. You get a booklet. You get you get everything. You get the whole guides. You get the checklist. You get the script. You get everything. You get the contracts. You get everything. So definitely check that out. Keldrick, just had a distressed property owner call me back. He said whatever I offer, he will take it. Come on. Wait a second. Where's my bell? Where's my bell? That's what I like. It's not. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. Distressed property owners say whatever I offer him, he will take it. Make sure you lock it up. Make sure that you are don't jump ahead. Remember, pre-qualify, get all 4 of those pillars, make sure that he's not messing with you, that he's serious, and try to pull some sort of price out of him. But if he literally, genuinely doesn't have a price, then, get it as low as you can. Listen, this is the big thing, and most people don't understand this, and this is what really is crazy when you're talking to realtors, when you're talking to mortgage officers or loan officers, when you're talking to a lot of title companies, when you're talking to a lot of investors. People don't understand that certain people, it's not about the price. It's not about the price. Some people just want to get rid of the property. They just want to get rid of it. They just want to go to the pawn shop with their guitar that's worth $500 and get $50 for it. They don't care. They just want to get rid of it. They're done. They're done with it. That's what it's like. That's what we're looking for. When we need to pre-qualify and make sure we pull out as much as possible. So, can you talk about Brian W. in the house? Shark fin, all right. Can you talk about operating in a competitive area? There are several developer groups covering everything within 2 hours. When I call, I get, this is the 5th time today a lot. How much is too much of that? It just depends, Brian. You know, here's the beautiful thing about TTP. The beautiful thing about TTP is you can pull a list and get the numbers back and call them and do that in like a few hours and test other markets and see if you feel the vibe in another market, feel good, feel the energy, feel like you're having better conversations. So I always want you to test. Now, Brian, if you're being consistent, if you're saying I'm being consistent, I'm calling, you know, 5, 10, 15 hours every single week. I can't get a single lead. It's just so unbelievable. It's just, I'm just getting beat up. Then go for it. But I don't want you to go. A lot of times we hallucinate and we listen to everything everybody else is saying and we just go, oh, it's not going to work. It's not going to work here. Everybody tells me it's bad here, without testing it. So make sure that you're testing. And then if you want, start sprinkling some lists in some different areas that you know that maybe you have family in, maybe you lived in before, maybe you just have interest in living in the future, whatever it is. Find a market that you like, that you're interested in, and test it out. And then that way you're getting the real data. You're working off of facts instead of working off of what somebody else has said. Okay, good, awesome. Roland, how do I best navigate batch text, basically, with all the new hurdles, restrictions, and slowing down text frequencies? Or should I switch to batch dialer? Well, here's the thing, guys. The fact is, without a doubt, the cell phone carriers are getting real good at blocking text blasting. So does text blasting have a shelf life? Absolutely. Will it go away for, completely? I doubt it. Maybe. But it's not a long-term strategy. And I don't want you to build your business on text blasting. All right? So the first thing is, if you're starting to get those low contact rates, you've already got the data, you got the list, you got the numbers. Pick up the phone and call them. Batch dialer is still in beta mode. I am literally like making sure that they make it as simple as possible, and are doing a great job and trying to, the way that it's designed and functioning. It's not quite there yet. You need a couple weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then it'll be rocking and rolling. But it's going to be phenomenal when it does come out, but it does need some work. So you can use Mojo now for a month, test it out, and then get to batch dialer once it comes out. But trust me, if anybody's going to let you know when batch dialer is ready, it's going to be me, because I'm really excited about it. So yeah, guys, texting, it's great, but it's going to be something that goes away. Yep. Demetrius, how would I determine ARV? I love this. Okay, so this is really, really, really important. Obviously, it's a big part of the Do Your First Wholesale deal. So definitely check that out. $97. It goes back up to what tomorrow? $497. $495 tomorrow. But anyway, and we're going to get more in depth there, but I'm going to give you kind of like some overall so that you can start putting it into action today. So first of all, a great way is Google the address. Google the address, and guess what pops up? Zillow, Redfin, Trulia. Take all three of those, okay, and look at what those prices are, smoosh them together, and divide by 3, and kind of get an average of where they're at. All right. Now that's if you just want to do it for free. That'll give you a good idea of kind of like what the property would be if it was fixed up. Now, is it always perfect? No. Do I want you to learn how to do comping and be able to get more into the neighborhood and see what specific fixed up properties in the neighborhood go for? Yes. And the best way to do that, obviously, is through PropStream, ttpdata.com. PropStream, you can zoom in, and see in that area. Actually, you know what? For free, you could do it at Redfin. Redfin does a really good job. You can zoom in. What I like doing is I like looking at what is the highest sale in the neighborhood. And typically it's something that's totally renovated. And I kind of get a price per square foot say it's like $120, and then I kind of go, okay, how big is mine? And then I multiply that by $120, and then you get an idea. Okay, you get an idea of what it would sell for totally fixed up. Now, if there's no comps in the neighborhood, go out half a mile and then go out a mile. I don't like crossing major streets. All right, when a appraiser goes in to appraise this property, and I know we're wholesaling, and I know we deal with cash buyers, but appraisers are important for this very reason. When we sell it now, this is only if we're selling it to fix and flippers. It's only if we're selling it and the property needs some love, needs some renovation. But if you're selling it to a rental buyer, that's a totally different thing. But typically when you're selling it to a rental buyer, the deals are pretty thin. But, and I want you to have big, massive deals, so I like selling it to flippers. Anyway, just make sure that when an appraiser looks, they look in the neighborhood, and then they look within, they try not to pass any major streets, and then they'll expand a half a mile, and then they'll expand a mile, and if they have to, 2 miles. So that's the way that they kind of look at it, and that's important because when you sell it to a fix and flipper, guess what? They're selling it to a traditional buyer. Guess what 85% of traditional buyers need? A loan. Guess what you need to get a loan? An appraisal. And there we go. We just unboxed it like one of those little Russian dolls. So there you go. Demetrius, great question. How are the laws changing the way wholesalers are moving around the company? Mamba mentality, that's right. Philadelphia just said that you have to have a license. Illinois said that you have to have a license. I think Kansas or something, you have to have a license. I think in the next 5 years, you probably need to have a license to do wholesale. We'll see. Around the country, we'll see. But if that's what it does, that's great. Whatever. Get a license. You know what I mean? You could get a license online, you could take the test, you'd be done, and then boom. It's a huge advantage because now you get access to the MLS. Now you can talk to real estate agents and you're under the umbrella of another brokerage, so they feel like you're more credible. The people that are, sometimes the sellers feel like it's more credible. I've done probably 6 deals in my career that they chose me over somebody else because they didn't think somebody else was reputable because they looked me up and I had a license. So I think that there's an advantage there. But if it changes, man. What are you going to do? You don't want to do things and be looking over your shoulder the whole time. You want to sleep good. You want to have a nice night's sleep. You want to know that you're doing everything above board. So there's a lot of things that are going on in our country right now. I don't know how fast it'll move or if it'll even move, but I always prepare for that. And I would consider in the next 6 months, year, 2 years, get a license. You can take your time with it and get it. It's really not that big of a deal. And, it's a little bit on budget, but I think it's smart. I think if you're committed to it, just think of it as a business expense. You know what I mean? Just think of it as you get some education, you certainly speak the language a lot better because that's basically all they teach you, and then you're rock and rolling. So, Daniel, my man. Daniel is in, where are you at, Daniel? Are you in Israel? I think he's in Israel. I might be wrong. Oh my gosh. I hope I'm not. I think he is in Israel. How do you present your offer, Brent? Well, a couple different, obviously I want to meet them face to face. Obviously you want to pre-qualify them. So if the question is, what do I do when I go to the house? I love this question. I love it. It's obviously, we deep dive it in the do your first wholesale deal, but you guys are here, so let's go. So basically, when you go to the house, you want to have everything pre-qualified. You want to know their timeline, the motivation, the condition, and the price. And you want to go around the house and you want to just be friendly with them. I don't like the idea of nitpicking what's wrong with the house. You want to keep the friction down as much as possible. Ask some questions. Try to talk to them. Now, some people just don't want to answer. They're a little bit weird. They don't know you. They don't know what's going on. They are kind of guarded. And so you just kind of have to feel them out. Walk around. Don't be pressuring them too much. Don't be, looking them square in the eyes and like trying to intimidate them or whatever else. Just to kind of walk around, get a feel for the way that they communicate, right? Talk to them. Come back to the table. Go see the property. Ask them for permission to take pictures. There's a couple other tips in the program, but take some pictures, right? Get permission to take pictures. If they'll give you permission to take pictures, hey, come on, That's a good first step, right? That's a good indicator that one, they want to sell, and two, that they're comfortable with you doing that. And then sit down and just go through the contract. I mean, you've already done, just go through the conversation that you've already had with them, and then have the contract, sit next to them, not across from them, right? You want to be on a team. Health and safety issues, make sure that you're considering that. And then sign the contract and give the contract to them and ask them to sign. Ask them to sign. There you go. If you've gone through the pre-qual and you've gone through the house and you've taken the pictures and you agree on all these things, remember, the deal only comes down to three things. And I know that you're doing it virtually, Daniel, so I don't know if you have boots on the ground, but that's what I would suggest. Or if you're virtual, you just go through the same thing, except for you're not walking through the house. You know what I mean? You're talking about, you're agreeing on all of the pillars, right? You understand where you're at with all that. Pillars are pre-qualifying. And then you try to get them on the phone at the same time to sign the DocuSign and rock and roll. Awesome. Daniel's incredible, by the way, guys. He's crushing it, man. He's doing some cool things. That guy is motivated. That guy is. Magdalena. All right, I love that name. How do I follow up with a seller about signing the contract without being annoying? Well, first of all, it's set up in the beginning, okay? When I send it over to you, is there any reason why you wouldn't sign it today or tomorrow or within an hour or whatever else? You know what I mean? So part of it is making sure that you set up the upfront expectations. Now, if you haven't, then just reach out to them. Just talk to them. You know, what are they going to do? Hey, you're too needy to do business with me. Is it because it's too good of a deal? What's going on here? You know what I mean? Maybe we're selling it too low. Maybe we should throw out all the things that I've talked to Magdalena about, and just not ignore her. Listen, follow up. Hey, I just want to check in. Any questions about the contract? No, we haven't reviewed it. Remember, follow-up takes 20 seconds, 30 seconds. 80% of the time, it's a text and a voicemail. They don't answer. So if they answer, just be you. Just be sweet, be nice, be optimistic, ready to go, ready to open up escrow. I'm trying to get all the ducks in a row. Have you had a chance to review the contract? Do you have any questions? Are you ready to move forward? Just keep closing them. Are you ready to move forward? Are you ready to move forward? Are you ready to move forward? There you go. Awesome. A lot of questions. Can we get some likes or something? Are people enjoying this? I don't know. You'll tell me if they like it, or can you guys smash the like? I don't know. You know it helps the thing. I don't know. Yeah, anyway. Shashko. He was on the last time, right? Or she, or yeah. Why do you say that we should only look for deals off market? That's a great question. Listen, you can look for deals on market, but here is my experience with deals on market. There's usually two things to do, okay? There's we got 81 likes, all right. There's two ways to go about on-market properties, and I don't like either of them. One is, a great deal popped on the market, I'm gonna talk to the agent and try to lock it up before everybody else does. Well, guess what? Agents are literally designed and trained to stiff arm you. They want to get as many offers as possible and get the price as high as possible, okay? So one, reach out to that agent beforehand, get them on your team, have them send you the deal before it goes on the market, let them keep 6% commission instead of only getting 3% if they sell it to somebody else once it hits the market, okay? And I can break that down in a little bit, but the second one is, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait until these properties, Mike and I did this. We did this when we were 23 years old. We wait until their properties are on the market for a long time, and then you lowball them. You just send in automatic offers. Boom, 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 boom. And some people do it. Some people do it, but they have big teams to coordinate it. They've got like software to send it in. They have a terrible reputation with agents. Not that they care, but the agents hate them now that they start switching up. There's deals here in my market, literally on the MLS. It says, if you have not seen the property, we will not consider your offer, which means they check the lockbox. When you go, you have a lockbox key, and you put it to the lockbox. It unlocks the lockbox, and it shows who came in. All right? And if you're not on that list, they're not considering your offers. So they're catching on. It's tough. I don't like either of them. So that's why I want to go off market. And if it's, listen, if it's a smoking hot deal and it hits the market, it hits Zillow, it hits every real estate agent that has an alert set up, every investor that has an alert set up, you don't think that there's going to be competition? Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of competition. So a lot of those deals don't work out. Maybe sometimes a little bit, you squeak them out if you can get the price lower, but it's a tough road. And you get really, really, really small deals, like under 5K deals. Maybe you pop something that's a little bit higher, but I want you to get 10,000 minimum on your deals. Christian, yeah. Yeah, in PropStream is the company, yep, ttpdata.com. I mean, they do all the legwork for you. I mean, they literally sort out all the distressed lists. So that and obviously Deal Machine, we use Deal Machine, and I have a driver out there picking out all the ugly properties, and then we update that Driving for Dollars list every year. So yeah, the Driving for Dollars and PropStream. Do you always set up an in-person appointment as a newbie? Yeah, if you live in the area, absolutely. I mean, listen, being a newbie, first of all, let's get rid of the word newbie. It just, like, that's not your title, all right? You're just starting, you're building your momentum, you're getting going. You are a small family business. That sounds a lot better than newbie, right? So throw that out of your brain, because if you go newbie, then that starts attacking your confidence. If it starts attacking your confidence, you start sabotaging your efforts because you don't want to go on the appointment because you think you're going to get rejected because you're new and you don't know what you're saying and you don't know what you're doing. So one, obviously get training. You know, the YouTube channel has a ton on all this. Get something here, feel confident, and build yourself up there so that you have that you know, confidence to go out there. But throw away the word newbie. Newbies, don't use that. Don't use that. You don't need that. You're not a newbie. If you were a 6-month-old baby, I'd call you newbie. You know what I mean? You're not a 6-month-old baby. You're a grown person in the beach. You know what I mean? Like, you've got this. You've had enough life experience. You've talked to enough people. You've been around. You know what I mean? Like, just be you. Yes, it is important to understand some things about the process with real estate, but you can learn that, like, right now. You're doing it, right? We're leveling up. I'm giving you the cheat codes. I'm giving you the watch out for this boss and watch out for that and watch out for this trap. You know what I mean? So we're doing that now. So Johnny, don't consider yourself a newbie. Anybody out there, don't consider yourself a newbie. Just consider yourself building up your momentum, all right? Best way to send contracts to my seller. Yeah, I use DocuSign. Yep, I use DocuSign. I don't know if it's the cheapest, honestly. I think e-signature is another one, but
HelloSign.com is good too.
HelloSign, Jesse, HelloSign.com, HelloSign, and he's the computer wizard. So that's a good one too. HelloSign.com. All right, good. We got anything else, or can I go to number 2 on this? We still got more? We got more questions?
We have
Hundreds of questions. Okay, we got plenty of questions. Real quick, because this is just, can we switch to here real quick? All right, number 2, they want to sell, okay? They want to sell. Number 2 is they have a problem. They have a problem. Guys, so many times I get texts. I probably have, let me see. I have, I don't know, whatever, that many texts. And some of these texts are coming from questions about, is this a deal or not a deal? And when I ask, what is their problem? Why do they want to sell? And this is from my TTP students. These are from the best of the best in the business, right? Really building it up. They come to the program, they ask, what do you think about this deal? I said, what's their problem? Why do they want to sell? Honestly, why do they want to sell? Well, they just want to move into a smaller house. That's not a problem. Oh, they want to they want to sell this house to get a bigger house, or they're moving across country. Sometimes that works, but listen, they got to have a problem, man. There's a ton of other problems, but you got to pull out that problem. They got to have a problem, all right? And then the third one is they trust you to get it done. They trust you. They trust you to get it done. They trust you to be able, on the day that you say that they're going to get their money and their problem's going to be over, that's going to happen, all right? So make sure that happens. But this is the core elements of every single seller. Every single distressed deal, every single wholesale deal. Those are the core elements. They want to sell, they have a problem, and they trust you to get it done. All right, I'm done. There you go. We'll get to questions. All right. What is the difference between the acquisition manager and the phone prospector in your business model? Great question, Luis. The phone prospector he's our hunter, right? He's our hunter. My acquisition manager is the gatherer, okay? So my phone prospector is cold calling everybody to see if they would consider an offer. If they would consider an offer, then it goes into my lead manager. My lead manager makes sure that it's a quality lead. And by the way, quality is the conversation, the notes that we're having feel like this could be a potential person to do business with us, right? If they send in something, well, he wants to sell it, and he put in all new granite, and he put in new wood floors, and he put in a new heater, and he put in a new pool, and no. This isn't a deal. My lead manager, Jackie, who was on the last show, phenomenal, she makes sure that it gets filtered out to the acquisition managers so the acquisition managers can lead follow up, and convert them. Now remember, wholesaling is 3 main processes: lead generation, conversion, and disposition, right? The phone prospectors generate the leads. My acquisition managers convert them. These are the sales guys. These are the guys that are digging deep. These are the guys going to the properties. These are the guys getting them down. These are the guys dealing with the actual seller once we're in a transaction, making sure that we get through this cleanly and we get good deals. So great question. Yep. What else? Miles. Okay. How many leads should I expect to get from a list of 1,000 contacts from list source? Well, you don't have 1,000 contacts. You have 1,000 addresses, and I'm not splitting hairs here, or being a jerk or anything, but 1,000, the reason I say that is because 1,000 addresses don't mean that all of them are going to come back with the skip trace phone numbers. So if you're going to, and it depends, Miles, on if you're going to call them, if you're going to text them, if you're going to mail them, what are you going to do? So 1,000 addresses will probably get you back about 80% of those 800 properties that have the phone numbers attached to them. Usually it's about 80, 85, some areas 90%, just depends, but I'm going to give you 80 just so that you're not disappointed when you send in 1,000 and only 80 come back with phone numbers, okay? Now, or 800 come back with phone numbers. So once you have those 800 with phone numbers, you should be getting a lead every 15 to 20 people that you're talking to. Okay, there should be, if it's a real distressed list, there should be somebody that wants to sell their property every 15 to 20 people that you talk to. So I guess just do that math. So probably 40 leads in there, and then you have to determine how many leads it takes for you to get a deal, how many deals close, and get paid. So those are some of, we go back to, we kind of got cut off on the KPI conversation earlier, but those are really important to follow because you're not going to get all of them back with the phone numbers, and then just reach out, and you're not going to reach out to all of them. You're not going to find all of them. So rock and roll. When is a good time to hire an acquisition manager? Once you've done $30,000 net to you for 3 straight months. That's when. 30,000. That's a Sean Terry rule, and I really like that rule. That guy has a lot of great ideas, and that one is a great one. Because Miles, listen, once you bring on people, you're financially responsible for them. Their financial future is in your hands. Okay. That's a responsibility most humans have never experienced. Most people never go through that. You know what I mean? And now you're financially responsible for these people, your team. Not only that, but you have to train them. Not only that, you have to rainmake. You need to get them leads. All of it is on you. The ownership of the whole thing is on you. They don't work for you. You work for them. And for real. You work for them. Now they're doing their work. They're doing what they need to do. They're doing the little, the tasks that are involved. Out of the 17 steps in a wholesale deal, they're doing a chunk of that. But you have to manage them. You have to make sure that they get enough leads. You got to make sure that they're happy. You got to make sure that their life's going well. You got to make sure that their car works. You got to make sure that you're holding them accountable. All of these things, right? And it's wonderful. But I want you to build a big old nest egg, because you're going to see a dip in your business when you start hiring acquisition managers. And that's because your efforts are going towards training them and getting them going. And I don't want you to deal with a dip unless you have money in the bank. So you're not getting frustrated, and that frustration means that you're going to be screaming at your acquisition managers to get those deals, lock it up. What are you doing out there? That's what happens. It really does. I'm going to ring this gong or whatever the hell goes on in offices. I'm going to get everybody fired up so that they get more deals, but it doesn't work. That doesn't work. That's ridiculous. So just find somebody at $30K, 3 straight months. Oh, good question.
I think he means list source.
Yeah, Kelly, I believe you mean list source. PropStream lets you pull 10,000 addresses. It gives you all of the data. I mean, you can just go ttpdata.com, scroll down. I mean, you can see it's got everything, right? And list source is typically, unless you're in the TTP program or Wholesaling Inc. or whatever, we get it at 3 cents an address, which is a huge discount. Most list source is 5 to 9 cents an address. So it's considerably more expensive. They've got about, PropStream's been doing pretty good. I would say it used to be about, list source was 20% better. It's only about 15% better data. So if you have the budget, go for it. To pull your list there, but I would also have PropStream for all the other things. But PropStream, a lot of the big companies, a lot of the major players use PropStream. Yep. How do you give offers quickly to pushy sellers on the phone? Well, Trill, Eric, listen, remember that in the script training, $7, it talks about one of the 6 responses that you're going to get when you ask somebody if they would consider an offer on their phone, on their home, is how much will you give me? All right? How much will you give me? How much will you give me? What you were calling me? How much do you give me? How much do you give me? You can stiff arm it a couple different ways. Or you can just throw out something crazy. Depends on how aggressive they are, or if you feel like there's some potential there. So a couple different things. Number one is I always kept a calculator. And I'll tell you why. It's kind of weird. Not my phone, because the phone would distract me, and I'd be looking at all my messages and everything. I had an old school calculator. It's like $6 from Staples. And I'd look on Zillow. You can press Zillow on when you're making calls, or if you type in the address as you're talking to them. And find the Zillow, and I would just look at whatever Zillow said, I put in times 0.66, and then whatever that price was, I threw it out at them, if it was over 200,000. And we're kind of getting technical, but it was that's what I did. That's what I did. And if they were like, oh my gosh, I want 5 times that, then I was like, oh man, I guess I'm not the right buyer. The other one that you could say is, well, my partner runs all the numbers, and I'm just trying to, see if I'm more the people guy. I just wanted to see if you would consider an offer first. So if you could tell me the condition of the property, I'll be able to get you a solid offer on the property. So have you done any remodeling to your kitchen and bathrooms in the last 5 years? See, Eric, what we did is we answer their question, but then we ask a question, all right? You never want to go into they ask a question and then you ask a question without answering their question. Because you do that, it's going to be like, who is this? What are you doing? I asked you, are you going to answer the question, or are you just going to ask another question? Are you just going to, steamroll me in this conversation? So actually, that's a great question. I don't really know. My partner runs all the numbers, and your partner could be your best friend, or your mom, or your dad, or your whoever. You know what I mean? Or you actually have a partner, whatever. Or me. I'll help you run numbers. Maybe not all day, but with the TTV students for sure. Anyway. $1,000 off, by the way. Anyway, so yeah, there you go. So just answer the question. Your partner runs all the numbers. You'd love to know more about the condition of the property, and then from there, most people when they ask that, by the way, are not leads. They just are assholes. Most of the time, they're just driver personalities, and they want to mess with you. They want to put you on the spot. Ha ha! Did you hear that, honey? I asked him how much would he give me, and he didn't even know what to say. I'm the man around here, aren't I, honey? Yeah, you're the man around here. Right? That's what goes on. That's what I imagine, anyway. Anyway, we're having fun. So, anyway, we good? What are we at? 107 likes? Let's get that up. Let's get those likes up. Guys, if you're having fun, if we're getting the questions, if this is, stimulating and putting good ideas in there, just hit the likes. I'd appreciate it. Really cool. Yeah. Anyway. Black Friday, ttpblackfriday.com, ttpblackfriday.com, guys. Everything is slashed. I want to say thank you for an incredible year. I know it's been a very challenging year, a very confusing year, a different year. I mean, we've never gone through something like this before, and all of the people that reach out and send me the, just pictures of the checks that they've gotten, not even in the program, just people that, through Instagram or YouTube or Facebook or whatever else have been just reaching out. I really appreciate it. We slashed everything. I mean, we took our $500 do your first wholesale deal, and it's less than $100. So people have been taking advantage of it, and I'm really happy about that because it's really, really incredible, and I think that it stands alone as what you would need to get going. If I had that when I started out, I would have cut the first 3 years off easily. It puts you, into those higher levels a lot faster, cuts off a lot of time. So ttpblackfriday.com. It's the last day. It's going on for another 8 hours, 42 minutes. Get it. Don't even, whatever. Don't overthink it. Anyway, Oscar, if you were 17 years old, what would you do to set yourself up for success? Well, again, that kind of goes back to that whole mindset thing. One, Oscar, is you need to have enough self-awareness to understand what do you want to do? What do you want to do? If it's real estate and you're here and you're 17 and it's real estate and you're excited about it and you've read Rich Dad Poor Dad, you've read Think and Grow Rich, you've read The Go-Giver, you've read these incredible books and all these things are exciting and you've got that difference, you've got that different brain like we do, like everybody on here does, then what I would say is you got to find people that are like you, all right? You need to inspire them and you need to start taking action. There is no rule that says a 17-year-old can't call people and ask them if they would consider an offer on their property. Now, do you need somebody over 18 legally in different states to be able to sign a contract and make it valid? Sure. Bring your family in. Bring somebody in that's older than 18 and have them help you out with that. But honestly, you need to get in action. Like, you need to have the courage. You need to have the what is that called? Like you just need to take the time. I mean, you got to start taking action. Geez, that was tough to get out. Oh my gosh. But really, it really comes down to courage. It comes down to just having the courage to pick up the phone and start calling people and start building up. Because I'm telling you, when you have talked to 1,000 property owners and asked them if they would consider an offer on their property, you are on a different level. You can communicate better, you understand people's personalities better, you understand what rejection really is, you understand what different objections and how to respond to those. I mean, you are just on a different level after you've talked to 1,000 people. And imagine this, Oscar, if you did that before you were 18. Imagine if you did that before you were 18. What?
Oscar watch that Carter Libis podcast.
Yeah. Go into the YouTube channel and watch Carter Libis, Libis, Carter, and just fresh out of high school, really crushing it. Incredible kid. Sounds like you're the same. So definitely check out that podcast. It's an incredible one. But really, surround yourself with great people. But it starts with you taking the action. Starts with you having the courage to get on the phone and rock and roll. I can't tell you. I'm telling you, guys, I've had 3 people this week sign up for the TTP family that are 19 years old.
Oh.
Yep, 19 years old. One, I think he's just turning 9. Well, he might be 18. But anyway, yeah, incredible. I mean, just where you're going to be. One's texting me right now. He's texting me right now. I got to get back to him after the show. But there you go. Rhonda, there she is. How do I know if an area is good? One, to find deals that is good and buyers will want in Northern California. And there are areas with lots of old homes needing love, but not sure if it's good for wholesaling. It is. It is. I mean, here's the thing. A couple different things. There is a way that you can get into, if you, yeah, it's going to be tough to show you that. There's some videos online. You can just Google it, put it into YouTube about pulling cash buyers from ListSource. You can do it for free. I like doing it through PropStream and looking at the hot areas, and it'll show you where they're at. And actually, PropStream has a cash buyer box to show you how many cash buyers are in a certain area. So you can type in a zip code, you can type in a county, you can type in a city, and it'll show you how many cash buyers are in there. And you know, you're looking for over 100 cash buyers if you have that.
Show you how to do that exactly.
Well, yeah, we show you how to do it right here. Yeah. $97. Thank you, Jesse. $97 that we show you and do the first wholesale deal. But that's what I would do. Just look and make sure that there's some action. If you just don't want to do it, if you don't want to get online and pull it that way because you like getting in your car, just look for dumpsters. Look for properties turning over. Look for construction crews going. Look for, you know, where you get a vibe. You know, there's a certain feel when areas and neighborhoods are getting turned over and gentrified. So, yeah. What are we at? 3:30? Woo! As a new wholesaler, how do I justify being legitimate if I'm telling someone that I want to buy their house? If I know I'm going to try to sell the purchase agreement to somebody else? Well, first of all, you can tell them that. You can tell them, listen, I have a network of cash buyers that I would give this deal to, and they would pay me for it. That's one of the ways that I make money as a real estate investor, right? So you can tell them that. You know what I mean? I mean, why not? Listen, if these people are truly in distress, they want somebody to solve their problem. If you're there solving their problems, listen, nothing changes for you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, but I've got a network of investors that I work with. And I'd love to put this in front of them. First, we need to get this agreement out of the way. How does that sound? Here's the terms. Here's the agreement. There you go. The other one is find somebody. There is somebody in your market right now that will be your buyer, that will give you money to purchase properties at a discount. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Hey, whoever you think has money that you know or talking to, every day, what I do, and this is you talking to them, is I go out proactively and I find real estate deals. But I want to be legitimate. I want to be the buyer. I need you to be my money. I need you to be my backup. Right? I need you to be there and look at the deals and make sure that you approve of them, no doubt about it. But I know that I can bring some smoking hot deals. I want to increase, you know, whatever you're making this year and doing whatever, and I want to do it through real estate. Will you partner up with me? Boom! Now who's a cash buyer? You're a cash buyer. Take flight? You are. And I love that. Listen. Never underestimate the power of a couple things. One, being wildly proactive, and two, being super loud. You are proactive and you are loud, and I'm not talking about obnoxious. I'm not talking about like blowing people away. I'm talking about letting people know what you're doing tastefully. Letting people know in your Instagram stories, letting people know in your posts, letting people know on Facebook or whatever else that you're a real estate investor, that you're a real estate buyer. People will find you. When you're posting all this stuff, guess what happens? Guess what happens at Christmas? Did you hear that Linda's a real estate investor? Yeah, she posts about it all the time. I see it on that Facebook thing. Yeah, she's doing great. Yeah, didn't you do some real estate investing? Yeah, I did. Maybe you should reach out to her. Yeah, I'm going to reach out to her right now. I'm going to send her a DM. Maybe we can do business together. This is how it works. I'm telling you. If you start getting loud, people will understand what you do. Don't be secretive. Don't be shy. Get out there. So, there you go. How do you justify to the seller that you want to buy their property at a huge discount, like say a $100K house for $30K? Well, first of all, you don't have to justify anything. Second of all, you should be getting the price out of them. Listen, you can't, hey, how much do you want for the house? I want $100,000. Okay, great. I can give you 30. No, I don't want 30. Okay, great. can we meet in the middle? Can we find somewhere that this makes sense? I can't do 100. This property needs $50,000 worth of work. Maybe I am justifying. But listen, the condition of the property, here we go. If you were to ask him, if you were to completely fix up this property, what would it sell for? If you went and it is beautiful, it's the best house in the neighborhood, how much do you think it would sell for? I think it'd sell for $150,000. Okay, great. How much do you think that it would cost to be able to do that? Well, I'd have to put $50,000 in there. Okay, great. So you have to put $50,000 in there, and now you have to pay a real estate agent. You have to go through all that. You got to go through inspections. So that's another 10%. So now you're at $90,000. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. And I am at $70,000. I want to do this for $70,000 or $60,000. We're about $30,000 apart. I obviously need to make a profit as a real estate investor. This is what I do. And to take that off your hands, and you don't have to do anything, can we agree at a price of $65,000? You don't have to do anything. Done. As is. By the way, that $65,000 you keep. That's all yours. That's a net offer to you. Right? That's the approach. But a $100K house for $30K, you get those deals when they tell you that they want $30K. You're not going to convince somebody that wants $100,000 right now. They've done their research. They know what it's worth. They're not in a time crunch, all these things, to take $30K. There's no magical, script to do that. One, pre-qualify them and understand why they want $100K. And is it a deal at $100K? If it's a $100K house, how much work does it need? Does it need a lot of work? Or are you just trying to go after a house that's beautiful and give them $30K? It's not going to work. You're just spinning your wheels. Spinning. You got to find people that will trade equity in their house for speed and convenience. Yep. What do we got? Should I have my LLC in place? Marcia, fantastic question. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people think that getting an LLC takes a long time. It really doesn't. A lot of companies, a lot of CPA companies, or a lot of accountants will do it for you, and they'll set it up the way that you want it and make sure that it's set up right. And typically it's $100, $150. You literally fill out like 1-2 pages of stuff, and it's done. So I think it's a great idea. To make sure that you can write off all of your, expenses and whatever else. I'm not an accountant, whatever. Talk to them about it. But I think it's a great idea. Do I think that you should not do anything until you have an LLC? No. But I think you could do an LLC in the next 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Just Google it, find somebody. You can probably do it online. You know what I mean? So don't let that hold you up. And if you're going to use an LLC, remember it's going to go on the contract. So don't do something crazy like killing them deals or making huge money or something LLC. Like make it something that's digestible that will go on a contract. Okay? Got it. Zoe, by the way, I've seen that. I've seen contracts with that on there. It's crazy. Anyway, Zoe, can you give advice to find a good title company? What do I say when I call them? Zoe, great question. So a couple different things. One, just post to a Facebook group, ask them a question, and just post the question. Who's the best escrow officer for wholesale deals or for real estate investing deals, right? And so you'll get some responses. Look for the ones that are liked the most or the people that put them in the most. And when you call them and just say, hey, listen, I'm a new real estate wholesaler. I'm getting into the investment. I'm out there every day. I'm being proactive. I'm finding opportunities. When I do, I want to be able to send them to your title company. And I just want to see, do you have enough capacity right now? Can I send you a bunch of deals? Are you able to handle that much? You have a great reputation. I just want to work with the best. And then that's it. Just start that conversation. The conversation really starts, escrow officers, title companies, they like when you meet them, but listen, they're behind the computers. They just want the deals coming in. They just want you to send them deals. So once you find the person and you get the escrow officer, why don't you just send them a contract, then call them? They're really happy then. They're really happy. So there you go. Can you post a cash buyer script, John?
TTPinsider.com.
Yep.
Toolkit.
Yep.
Buyer pack.
Yep. So talktopeople.com. join the TTP Insider. We have a download called Cash Buyer Pack. It's got everything. It shows you exactly how to build up your cash buyer database, what to say to them, the whole script. So it's free, John. It's free. I mean, if you want to, cancel your TTP Insider after that, go for it. Whatever you want to do, but just get in there, check it out. There's a ton of tools in the toolbox and resources. So, yep. Kaz. The cash buyers in my area are buying off-market properties for more than the ARV. Me too, brother. Does that mean I can contract at any price? Having a hard time with getting discounts from sellers due to this. Test it. Test it, test it, test it. Lock something up, put it to your cash buyers and see how they respond. Don't make any assumptions, right? We don't want to be making assumptions and just thinking that that they'll never take these deals because they're not at a huge discount. If you see that people are buying them higher, test it out. Okay? There you go. So put it in front of your buyers. Christian, favorite motivated seller list to TTP when you're new to cold calling? Driving $4. Listen, 80% of people that do their first deal get it from driving for dollars. 80%. 80%. So yes, I would go after that. It's a custom list. You're the only one that has that exact list, and just reach out to them. See if they would consider an offer. Look for the ugliest houses. Yep. Once I have a deal under contract, Jamal, once I have a deal under contract and I'm selling my contract to a buyer, how much time should I give my buyer to close? Well, first of all, the closing date is already on the purchase contract, Jamal. So the agreement that you have with the seller will tell you when that deal closes. Now, if you're talking about how soon should I give them to sign the assignment and get their earnest money in, as fast as possible. No longer than 24 hours, no longer. And assigning it should be like 12 seconds. So I like it within an hour to sign it. I'll give them 24, typically not, but sometimes I'll give them 24 hours to get their earnest money in. But the contract, remember, listen, we're getting the contract signed, and then we're assigning all of these terms to the cash buyer. Now, the cash buyer might say to you, Jamal, hey, listen, I want to close this week. I need this money to move. I need this money to move this week. Can your seller close this week? You call up your seller, say, seller, can you close this week? If it's a vacant property or whatever else, or if there's tenants in there, you can make arrangements, and you can move up the closing date. But typically, if you try to push back the closing date as the buyer, it doesn't look good. So I wouldn't suggest that. Now, if the seller wants to extend it, I don't really like it that much, but sometimes they need time to move, or something happened, or something else like that, or the tenants need a little bit more time. So there you go. Ebony, how do you assess how much repairs will cost? Great question. There's a great video on this. Broken down on the perfect offer presentation, I think it's called, on this YouTube channel. So definitely check that out. It's kind of a chart, but basically it's like 3 different layers, right? There's one where the property's pretty clean. It just kind of needs to be cleaned up, freshened up, a little bit of lipstick on it, right? A little bit, maybe some carpets, maybe some paint, right? And that's the first level. Second level is like, oh, okay, this needs some work. This needs some work. The third level is, oh my gosh, I wouldn't walk into this house with open-toed shoes. You know what I mean? Like, oh, everything needs to be done. So there's 3 different, basically the factors, and I've got it all in a chart there, so you can definitely check that out. But basically, the condition of the properties on one side and the size of the properties on the other. Because remember, the bigger the property, the more cost. Right? There's just more material costs. There's more time costs. There's more, so it goes up by the size of the property. So definitely check that out, Ebony. Great question. Woo! What do we got? We're at 134 likes. Let's get some more likes. If you guys are having fun, please. And TTP BlackFriday.com, 8 more hours, TTP BlackFriday.com. Definitely take advantage of it. I mean, I love doing this with you guys and being here. That is on demand. It's over 5 hours, and it's very, 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 very structured. Very, 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 it puts it all in line, every single part of it. So from step A to step Z, all the way through. So definitely check it out, ttbblackfriday.com. Favorite motivated seller list on PropStream, tired multifamily landlords. Tired multifamily landlords, Tyler. Yeah, I love that. I mean, you can play around with vacant. Vacant is a good one, and they update that. They've got a good process for updating that. So definitely get going with that. And the reason I say vacant is because obviously, with the pandemic, we've got a lot of different restrictions. Some people don't want to get into the property, have people come into the property. They're scared of that. So vacant properties is awesome because you can put a lockbox on that baby, a contractor lockbox that you get at the hardware store. You set that code to whatever, 2222. That's not mine, but whatever. Set the code, put it on there, send it out to your cash buyers, and boom, they are going, and it is a feeding frenzy for that deal. So, yeah. Rocky, do you recommend to quit your job and do this full time and take the risk, or generate another source of income, then quit? I say you need to build it up. You need to build up a reserve of funds so that you can be, so that you're not totally stressed out about this. I get the whole thing about burning your boats. I get it, but you need to have savings. You need to have savings so that you have enough. I want 3 months of expenses for your company and or your living expenses and your living expenses. So make sure you save up at least 3. I prefer 6, but at least 3 months before you do that. And fit it in. Find times. You can find times. Listen, there's 168 hours in a week. There's 168 hours. You can find 20 for this. You can find 20 for this. I know that. Because, listen, if you work 40 hours, 50 hours a week, you sleep 40 hours a week, or whatever, what is it? What's 56 hours a week? You still have like 70 hours a week. I mean, you can do this. You've got this. You've got this. So I don't want you to feel stressed. I've seen too many people quit, and then they try, and then they just fall out of it because they're so used to a structure, and they don't have that structure because they're now entrepreneurs for the first time or work self-employed for the first time, and they get stressed because of the money, and they need to get a deal, and then they have that assignment fee breath. You know, they start every deal, they're just trying to get it done. Oh, sign the contract, please. Please sign the contract. I need this, right? So, yeah, there you go. Ghost Sniper, all right. If you see a dumpster outside a property, does that usually mean an investor or flipper bought the house? Yeah, typically it's already been bought. I mean, you could do the search. I mean, you could just pop that address into PropStream and see if somebody bought it. Sometimes they clear it out before they sell it, so just look. Pop it into PropStream or Zillow or Google or whatever. I talk about PropStream and TTP data just because it gives you a lot more information, but you can put it into Google and just see if it recently sold on Zillow. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, literally, you can just knock on the door. Just go to the property, knock on the door, and talk to the contractors or whoever's cleaning it out, see if somebody bought it, see if they're renovating it. Sometimes you can tell by the trucks or the cars that are in front of the house, if it's talking about like clean out or trash out or something, maybe you got a shot at that because maybe they haven't sold it yet. But if it's like a contractor, you know, typically either the seller's fixing it up or the owner's fixing it up or somebody just bought it. Good question. Cameron, are buyers buying at 75% ARV minus repairs or at 65% ARV minus repairs? People are buying at 84% ARV minus repairs. Huh? Wow. It's bananas out there. Listen, Cameron, this is a tough. By the way, my mom almost named me Cameron. That was number 2. It was Cameron first, then Brent, and then it went with Brent. But so I have a feeling. I think I could have been a good Cameron. But you're the best one, Cameron Crisco. Anyway, here we go. Let me break this down for you a little bit. Okay, first of all, it depends on your market. It depends on your area. It depends on how much repairs need to be done. It depends on the price point, right? So I don't like that. I know that investors in good hot markets, if you're doing a fix and flip, If you're selling it to fix and flippers, this is different if you're selling it to rental people, selling it, geez Louise, selling it to people that are building their rental portfolios. But when you're going after these fix and flip ones, typically they want to make 10% profit if it's above $200,000. The minimum is they want to make $20,000 on a deal. So if it's under 20, so what I like to do is I take the ARV times 0.84, okay? Well, let's go back. I'll make this a little bit more clear.
Do it on the whiteboard.
Okay, so what I like to do is ARV and minus the 10% profit. Now, I always put a $20,000 minimum. Okay, so if the ARV is something like 80,000 or 100,000 or 150,000 or 160,000, then use 20,000. Subtract 20,000 instead of 10%. But if it's 250, 275, whatever, 10% profit. Then I get 6% for closing and agent costs. Okay. This is 6% for the closing and agent costs because the cash buyer buying this property has to pay the closing costs when they purchase and when they sell, and potentially have to pay for a real estate agent when they sell. It's not when they buy, it's when they sell, typically, okay? So I factor that in. A lot of them get good deals, but typically I just factor this in. So that's what I say is the 84%, because this is, you minus the 10% and minus the 6, you're at 84%. And then from there, I get rid of the repair costs, and then from there I go with the how much I want to make, how much your assignment fee, and then that's your offer price, right? That's where you're at. Okay, that's kind of your max allowable offer there. So you're subtracting these things to get to your offer price. And I spent a lot of time at school for my penmanship, and I think it's paying off. I think it's looking good. I think it's looking real good here. Yeah. Anyway, so that's it. So that's your question there, Cameron. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. These are kind of old school. I think a lot of people say 75% or 65% because of price points, and I get that. If it's a really lower price point, you can start playing around with that. But my rule of thumb is, if it's over $250,000, I'll throw out 66% to the seller of that price. That typically puts me in a good spot. If it's under that, I'll throw out 50% and just see. Just as broad terms, I would sharpen my pencil on those numbers, but yeah, I got to go in like 10 minutes, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Jared, awesome. This is incredible. We've been going. Are we over for 200 likes yet? Come on. Keep hitting it. 145. Guys, real quick. TTPBlackFriday.com. Please take advantage. 8 hours left, 8 hours and 16 minutes. When we started this, it was over 10 hours, and now it's 8 hours. Time's slipping away. Time is slipping away. $7 for the script training. It's incredible. It's a full hour of me breaking down exactly what to say. Remember, the script is what to say. This is how to say it. Okay, so I kind of flip-flop that, but how to say the script, how to go through it, how to be confident. The do your first wholesale deal, phenomenal, $97, 5 hours on demand. You get everything. It's bananas. Just check it out, click it, and then if you're really wanting it to take it to the next level, if you've been on the fence about mentorship, working with me one-on-one, it's $1,000 off. Until the end of day tomorrow, but you have to sign up for a call today because obviously the sales guys have to connect with you. So anyway, here we go. Jared Barnes, do you let the seller know once you have assigned the contract to a buyer? How do you prepare the seller for closing day knowing you are not the one buying the property? No, Jared, no, I don't. Listen, when you assign, nothing has changed for the seller. Nothing has changed for the seller. They get their money in the same day. The title company takes it over from them. What you do with the seller is, now listen, if you want to, go for it. Hey, listen, just to let you know, I signed it over here, but you're still talking to them. You're still communicating with them. You're still making sure that they're getting everything they need so that they can close this deal and make it smooth. Right? You're not just going, hey, I assigned it to this guy. See ya. I'm never going to talk to you again. I'm never going to talk to anybody again. Mail me the check. That's not real life. Okay? In real life, you got to make sure that everybody, the title's taking care of everything, that they are coordinating with the seller and the buyer, and they're making sure that everything is done before the closing date so that the funds come in, the wire comes into the title company, and they pay out the seller. So with a seller, I mean, it just depends. If you build this like huge, bond with them, and they're like, oh, Jared, I love you so much. I'm going to make you these fresh baked cookies because you're such a sweetheart, and I'm going to send you Christmas cards and everything. Then yeah, tell them whatever. Tell them, hey, listen, this is my friend. Alejandra, she's actually has the funds to purchase the property. She's going to do that. She's going to do a phenomenal job. You can do that, sure. But for the most part, they don't care. They don't care. They want their money at the time and get it done as smooth as possible. Okay? What docs should we always have when door knocking, just in case? Angela, so what I would say is I would keep contracts in your car. You can carry around one of those, and this is what I did for a long time. I actually just threw these away. Is I had one of those clipboards that you could keep stuff inside it so you didn't get it all sweaty or all cold or things dropping on it or whatever. And it was inside, it was like a closing clipboard, but I felt like it was a little weird when people answer and I have a clipboard, right? So if you can, keep a contract in your car. Listen, the chance that you're going to go knock on a door, they're going to be like, yes, Angela, you're amazing. Come on in. Do you want to buy my house? Great. At a discount? Even better. Where's the paperwork? Come on. It just doesn't happen that often. So what I would say is keep it in your car. And I mean, you should always have contracts in your car. Just get a little binder or a little trapper keeper. No, what are those things called? A folder, file folder. Bear trap, yeah, whatever. So yeah, just keep them in there, keep them organized, and then you can pull on them whenever you want. Awesome. Samuel, hey Brent, I'm 17 and bought your first wholesale deal. So far, it's bananas. Yes, can't wait to continue with it and take action from it. Just wanted to say thank you. Keep it up, Samuel. You keep it up. Come on. Yes. Oh no. I love it, man. It's so incredible. 17 years old. You're going to be on a different level, man. I'm telling you. Take action. Now listen, it's one thing to buy it. Next is to take the action. I know you will. You're already there. Keep it going. Keep this fresh. Keep it in. Be obsessed with it. Let it just like take over. And I'm telling you, it's so exciting. It's so exciting to see what happens when you start young and you start feeding that pilot light, that fire inside you. You start giving it some gas. Whoo! Incredible things happen. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to start getting deals. And you're going to start making that $5, $7, $10, $20, $50,000 deals as a 17, 18-year-old. And I want you to do this. Keep the money. Don't get crazy. Don't go buy crazy stuff and let everybody know how cool you are and all these things. And now, blah, 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 blah. Don't. Keep it humble. Build your business now. Buy assets. Remember, when you make money, you have two options. You spend it or you invest it. Invest it now, brother. You're going to have a lot more freedoms. If you're disciplined now, you're going to have a lot more freedoms in the future. I've seen so many talented young people blow all their money trying to hire people, trying to be the man, trying to be the woman, try to get crazy, and all of a sudden they have to reset. Now all their emotions are involved. Now they're feeling, it's a mess, all right? Invest. Get rid of the money. Take it, get rid of it. Buy properties. Pay off any debts. Do whatever. Buy your mama whatever. What do you buy, moms? Flowers. Huh? A jet ski. There you go. So anyway, awesome. Kenny, does the do your first wholesale? Oh, come on. Yes, Kenny, it is in there. It is absolutely in there. The do your first wholesale deal has it all. Yeah, it's in the script training. Who would win in a dance battle? Come on, man, Richard. You know Jamil can't dance. Come on, man. You know he can't dance like me. Anyway, I don't know. I guess I've never seen Jamil. No, I've seen Jamil. He was at the Christmas party last year. I smoked him. It's not even a question. Yep. Nita Staley, Joseph. Hey, listen, we're talking about it. Honestly, we're talking about coming out at least 2 or 3 times a week. So I'd be excited to do that. I love this. I love you guys. We're a special group, and my team here loves you guys all too. It's not just me. I have some incredible people. Will you guys come in here real quick? Just say hi to everybody real quick so you can see everybody. But thank you. Thanks for making a video for me on TikTok. Benny, there you go. Awesome. You got it. There's going to be more. We're going to have a lot of fun with that stuff. Mike Mahoney, producer, fantastic. You all know Alejandra. She runs the show and everything. Jesse, just he's our genius, and Daniel is our creative and our video guy. So this is all the team. We're excited. We want to bring motivation through authentic enthusiasm. So love you guys. You guys are the best. Thank you. So that's it. That's it for the show. Hey, listen, I would go on for the next hour and a half, but I have a virtual parent-teacher conference. So unfortunately, I have to go. But I'm going to see you guys real soon. I think we should probably do something, in the next couple weeks. We'll let you all know. But you guys are the best. Thank you for the support. Definitely take advantage of TTP Black Friday. And love you. See.